The good people over at Rockpool Publishing sent me this deck as a gift for the purposes of doing an honest review. I have not looked at it. All I did was take the plastic off of it, so I didn't have to do it on camera. And we're going to all look at this together. So here is the front of it. It's by Travis McHenry. Interesting color scheme. Let me see. Oh, let me get you the price of it. It's different because the box opens like that, so it's a little bit difficult for me to maneuver it. But it's a very sturdy box, so that's a great thing. All right, guys, we're gonna check this. We're gonna check this out and see what this is. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it to anyone and everyone who might like it too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you want to get your own reading done, please hit me up on social media. I would love to give you a reading. Let's just see. Underneath this video, you will find all of my information in case you do want to hit me up, my email and everything. And at the very top underneath this video, I will give you a link to where you can purchase a copy of this very deck. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I see, like I said before, is it slides off like that. And that comes out like that. Interesting. That's different. I have not seen Rockpool do that before. Well, let's put this down. Pull this up. Here we go. So let's move this out of the way for a second. This is the guidebook. So it's pretty hefty. Wow, it's a lot of cards too. Yeah, it's a lot of cards. Look at that. It's over. Yeah, it's a lot. It's like 70 or so cards. Okay. All right. So this is going to be interesting. We got a hefty guidebook. We have our Rockpool paper that comes in every deck. And we're getting ready to see the cool ribbon. Love that. Yeah, this is a different box for Rockpool. I don't know if it's because of the size of the cards. Okay, then it comes out like that. Okay. Put it to the side. Put these other pieces to the side. Okay. Has paper on it. Pull the paper off. Silver paper at that. The first thing I love is the red gilded edges. Love that. Let's take one card and take a look at how thick this is. Not too thick, not too thin. This is the back. And it does not look like it is glossy, but it does shine a bit. Okay. All right, we're going to take these babies in order, and we're going to take a look. Let's pull this in. What are we looking at? I have no idea what we're looking at. I'm telling y'all right now. I do not know. All I know is that it looks like to me that, okay, so one part is anger, and the other part is new beginnings. So it looks like the light and the shadow to me. So you might be angry about something, but there is a new beginning. We're going to take a look, and it looks like they're all named. Each one of these is named. So you might recognize these names from the Bible or from other readings. Love and wisdom. And then I'm going to pick one at random, and we're going to read it from the book. Immorality. Okay. It's very cerebral. It seems like it's very cerebral and creation of all things. And it seems like it's going to be a lot to it in gratitude. And I guess those of us who read reversals, as I'm looking at this, I guess it depends on what direction you get it. If you get it like this, then you're in your divine power. If you get it like this, your divine power is being delayed. That's all I can think of. So I'm going to take a look though. When we get done with this, I'm going to pull out the book so we can see if I'm right about that. I'm not familiar with any of these angels so far. Unrestrained living. So we're going to see. I mean, it's 70 of them, so it's a lot of cards. And that's one thing, the light of understanding. Okay. I like more cards than less. So I'm with that. Ambition. Okay. The artwork is very simple. Looks like maybe patience, ink or pencil, maybe. It's interesting to me how the colors are. The black and white with the red and black. That's very interesting. Uh, can you say dualism or duality? That's the word I'm thinking of. Duality. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from it. Divine blessings. And I guess depending on how you got the card, that tells you where you are. Blasphemy. Where you are. Okay, Hanziel. That name I think is familiar. Divine forgiveness. Okay. And if you get it this way, deception. I definitely recognize this one. This particular name, this was from a movie. It might have been The Exorcist. I don't remember, but it was a famous movie, and this name was in it. Divine grace, laziness, and neglectfulness. Yeah, I recognize some of these from studying demonology, and that is the understanding of demons. And then of course there's angel, the study of angels. I don't know what they call it. Is it? I've seen it called angelology, but it has another name. It has a traditional name. I can't remember what it is. So this is like, and even some of the symbols, like I don't recognize because it said here Kabbalah. And I just remember some of these are like ancient. I don't recognize exactly where they've come from, but I've seen them in like ancient books, ancient works, things like that. Indiscretion and lie telling. So it looks to me like, remember I said it was cerebral? It seems to me a lot of thought and a lot of research must have gone into these. Truth and justice. Wow. False testimony. Okay. I'm trying not to spend too much time on any one card because I'm fascinated and I don't want you guys to be like, okay, Queen, move to the next card. Religious and general conflicts. Okay. Loyalty. Flip. Treason and revolt. And it's interesting because this is not the kind of deck that I probably would pick up. I like decks with pretty artwork and butterflies, stuff like that. So this is not the kind of, it's like I said, it's very cerebral. So it's not the kind of deck I probably would get. But as I'm looking at it, I'm like, I probably would get a lot out of this. This is great. Remember I talked about shadow work. I have some other decks that are great for shadow work. And I feel like this deck in conjunction with other shadow work decks would be really good. I think that would be a great combination. Because when I first looked at these, did not know what to expect. I'm like, wow. And now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow. It seems to me like it's teaching. It's a very, very talkative, very teaching kind of deck. Desire for knowledge. Yeah, knowledge is what I would say about this deck. Prejudice. Okay. Fame and renown. And for there to be so many cards, a lot had to go. A lot had to go into it. So I do think you could use these in conjunction with other decks for shadow work. But I also think it would be cool to use it by itself. Especially since when I look at the guidebook, we'll see what kind of, I know this has spreads. So, protection. And if not, I'm sure you can find some shadow spreads. Wow. Some of these, if you get them like that criminal card, like whoa, black magic. Wow, they feel so real. They feel like, you know how a lot of decks, like the ones I have, are like really fuzzy and funny and loving and stuff like that. This feels like a very realistic deck. Uh, and they talked about the balance between light and dark. I definitely see the balance. And most decks aren't like that. Most decks are one or the other, and mostly they lean towards light. But this one feels very both. It feels very gray to me, because it's like it depends on what's going on with the vibration. So that's interesting. Catastrophe and haste. Wow. Liberation. Wow. And I see this stuff like the fanatics. I see that online all the time. Like I see all of this going on, and it is the dark side of our species, fruitless labor. So these are interesting concepts I haven't seen in other oracle decks. Intellectual talent. Somebody I know was telling me that this particular creator is really good, like really smart, really well read, well researched, clearly. And I'm like, I see it now. This man is like, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he was an air sign or a Virgo, because I see like this attention, like a great amount of attention to research, submission to a higher order, rebellion, obedience. War and strife. I think I've seen more than one talking about conflicts. Reconciliation. Flip. Family conflicts. Ah, okay. Inner and outer work. Okay. And protection of criminals. Aniel. Breaking the cycle. Flip. Fraud and misrepresentation. I'm really loving these keywords. Ritual and ceremony. I'm loving what they mean, and my mind is going 1,000 miles per minute as to the things I could do with this deck. I have another deck from Rockpool. I think it's called Mad Men, Martyrs, and Mayhem, something like that. But it's tarot. And I could see that one being a great pairing for this, because they both have like this kind of light and dark vibration going on. I can definitely see me pairing those two for a shadow work deck, for a shadow work reading. Solitude. The artwork, like I said before, it is very basic. It's not bad artwork. It's just not the, beautiful flowing artwork that we're used to. It's, like I said, it's very cerebral. It's very like logical, to the point. Malevolent behavior. And it looks like the old art, like art from the old days, old books you would see, old Bibles. It reminds me of that. Fall of empires. Wow. Okay. The angels do not seem in the neither one of the they don't seem to be in I was trying to see if they were in alphabetical order, and they're not, because that's Ariel right here. So they're not in alphabetical order. Motivation. They're in numeric order. So when you're looking for them in the book, it's by the number. I know Ariel's first one I've really recognized. Perception and revelation. Let me see. Spiritual troubles. Okay. Yeah, Ariel I remember. And I just saw Michael. And I might have recognized some of the other ones, but these names are not spelled the way that I'm used to them being spelled. I'm used to them being spelled in what I guess would be the Western way. Because, like, this has got to be Michael. I'm guessing. And we spell Michael with a C. So I'm guessing these are probably the original spellings. Grandeur. Ego and hatred. Wow. Now I recognize Daniel from the Lion's Den. Eloquence. And the flip of Daniel. Living by your wits and illicit earnings. Universal medicine. So yeah, I probably just know them under Western names. I probably recognize more than just those. Because I was sitting there looking, I'm like, where is Uriel? Where is Raphael? You know, I'm looking for them. And I'm like, well, maybe they have different names. So, because I've noticed that whenever I read, you know, ancient texts, either the names of the angels are different or they're just spelled different. And, you know, Western people westernize everything. So I think I'm just used to seeing them that way. Intellectual lucidity. Yep. Vice. I'm getting the vibe of like virtues versus sins. You know, like the 7 deadly sins, and then there's the 7 virtues. That's what I'm getting from the self-made individuals. Discernment. Flip. Cowardly actions. Oh, wow. I like what it's talking about. And you know what else I'm thinking about this as I'm pulling these? True crime. These would be great for true crime. Sometimes I do old true crimes, like I did Jack the Ripper. And I feel like these would have been great for that. Especially that Jack the Ripper reading. Self-atonement. Yeah, any of the crime readings I did, like when I did the one on Gypsy Rose Blanchard, or the one I did on Natalia Grace, they would have been helpful with that too. Yeah, these are good. These are good for that. Desire to know. And I guess depending on what we see in the guidebook, these look really good to me for journal entries. Folly. But I want to see the book first. I don't want to make any proclamations until I see the book. Because I want to see what they recommend. Criticism. Fountain of Wisdom. Yeah, they remind me of drawings by Michelangelo. The artwork. Okay, flip. And let's see the other side. Physical and moral imperfections. Okay. 67. Transformation, let's say. Making mistakes. Okay. Very human. Healing. Famine and sickness. Ugh. Restitution. Okay. Fines and unfair costs. Alchemy and transformation. Okay. Dangerous writings. Oof. Okay. Divine warriors. Ashe. And the other side. Infamy. Okay. And I think this is our last one. Despair and suicide. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh my. Endings and rebirth. Ugh. Wow. Let's do that one. No, that's not. Very sensitive topic. So let's use a less sensitive topic. Let's use this one. All right. So let's take a look, guys. Now we have the card we're going to take a look at. We're going to see how easy it is to find. This is number 1. So I'm going to go to the beginning. Yes, there are spreads here. So let me see how many. One. There's quite a few spreads in here. Just let you know in the very front of the book. All right, let's look at one. Okay. He is a seraphim. Vahelu, the exalting God. But thou, O Lord, art a shield for me, my glory, and the lifter up of mine head. People born under the influence of Vahela have skillful natures, being blessed with great vision. He assists you in undertaking and executing the most difficult things. His invocation is made towards the east. Sole guardian of those born between midnight and 12:20 a.m. Moral guardian of those born on March 20th, May 31st, August 11th, October 22nd, or January 2nd. Physical guardian of those born from March 20th to the 24th. All right, so each one of them will if you get it in the upright, put the angel, each one will tell you, okay, and all of them have like different dates that they guard. So one of the fun things would be finding out which one is your guardian. Now the other side, if you get it reversed like that, this side says king. The first principal demon, Baal, is a king who rules in the east. He gives you the power to be invisible and can control the weather and bring pestilence or cure disease. He is also skilled at fighting snakes and may be invoked against them. He was a great god in the land of Canaan, where he was called Baal, and had many temples devoted to his worship. He rules over 66 legions of inferior spirits and appears in diverse shapes. Sometimes like a cat, sometimes like a toad, sometimes like a man, and sometimes all these forms at once. He speaks hoarsely. Servant of those born between March 20th and the 24th. So if you're somebody who's interested in studying more about, it looks like the Kabbalah tradition, demonology, and all these sigils are in here. If you're interested in looking at this deck apparently breaks it down, because like I'm flipping through in the front part here, and they tell you how to use the deck. They have all these different spreads in here. The meanings of the cards, of course, that we just saw. But if you go before that, there's all these definitions in here. These angels are all from the Kabbalah tradition, according to this. That's why I didn't recognize them, because they're from the Kabbalah tradition. And I don't know where it was. I've just read books about them, and I don't know where tradition they're from, but it must be a different tradition. The Seal of Solomon, that was King Solomon. So there's a lot of knowledge in here. So if you're somebody who wants that kind of knowledge, this could be extremely helpful in those ways. And it's not a lot to read, even though there is a lot of knowledge here. It's not a long reading. So if you're interested in that, this is a deck you would definitely like. Underneath this video, I'm going to put a link to where you can purchase it if you so choose. And you guys come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.